guys, good morning. This is Vanshara, and first of all, let's grab our coffee. It's gonna be a little bit of long video. Grab a coffee or snack. I wanted to talk to you about why I started this channel and why I'm posting YouTube videos. And yeah, so I feel like uh, I'm someone who does not go out much and who has friends outside of book community, outside of reading, and I do not really have many people who read that often or who read much and who don't even read at all. So I feel like this platform would be a great idea for me to talk about the books I really love and like and dislike as well. And I feel like um,
A few minutes later.
that yeah, I think people would like to listen to me blabber yap about books. And yeah, so I this is gonna be a psychology related video, not like psychology, but like they're gonna be books, but they're gonna be psychology related books, something that deals with human psychology or about human behavior, about brain trauma, things like that. So, I am a psychology graduate from Delhi University, India, and I'm soon going to start my post graduation in psychology, probably clinical psychology. And let me tell you some of the best psychology books I have read and learned a lot from them. So, first of all, there's a textbook which we used in our graduation, and really, it doesn't read like a textbook, it mainly reads like a novel, as per se, because there are so many things in here which are so normal to understand, like we can understand in our daily lives, things like that. So I'm gonna recommend you Psychology, the Science of Mind and Behavior by Michael W. Passer and Ronald D. Smith. So, as you can see, it's a clearly very worn out book. I've annotated too much, and it is a pretty hefty and long book. I would not suggest you going through all the chapters because I've myself not gone through every chapter from this book, but I would recommend you going through something that you would like to study about and you would like to know about in psychology, particularly. Like there are so many chapters on abnormal psychology, which tells us about disorders and which tells you about schizophrenia, depression, bipolar, BPD, personality disorders, and there are other chapters which tells you about mainly your personality, intelligence, memory, how it works, and also how our brain works, and all the how brain plays into our psychology. So this is a book that I would first recommend you. It's an Indian edition, so I don't know if people who are not from India will be able to have it. But if you can, then please do it. It's the fifth edition, and I really love this book. I love going through it again and again to get my concepts clear. Yeah, it doesn't read like it reads like a novel, and I can bring it into my daily reading before bed or anything like that. So yeah. Oh. And the second book would be Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Laurie Gottlieb. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right because I don't want to butcher her name because she's a brilliant author and a therapist. So this book revolves around her life and her clients' lives and her therapist's life. Like she's a therapist herself, but as we all know, the therapists need their therapists. So it's about her clients who come and take therapy from her, and she really tells about them and their journey, and it is it's a really rememberable book. Like, it's a book I cannot stop thinking even now after 2 years of reading it. Like, I read it in like my, I think, first year of graduation, and it's been like 3 years since then, and I just love it. The way this book narrates everything about the disorders, and with so much empathy, with so much of love and care the therapist have towards her clients, towards her, um, the people that seek therapy from her. And it's really nice to see all of that going on, because I also want to go into that field. I want to be a therapist, a clinician. And so that really got me into thinking how I would be able to uh, treat my clients, how I'll be able to talk to them and behave with them, and really taught me a lot of things about human psychology and how many different kind of humans are there and how they operate and how their psyche works. It's just phenomenal. This book is by far my favorite psychology book ever. Okay, the second book I would like to recommend to you is uh, Down the Rabbit Hole by Alan Roper and B.D. Burrell. So, this book is about mainly brain, neuroimaging, neuropsychology, like how much our brain is impacted in psychological disorders and how it plays a role in contributing to the psychological disorders, because we think psychological disorders are the disorders of mind, but no, they are disorders that involve genes, that involve brain and neurotransmitters and everything. So this book was really helped me get into psychology, and this was the first book I read uh, before I started my graduation, which actually made me feel like I should pursue psychology as my core subject, and that's what I did. It made me inspire. It made me feel like, yes, psychology is a really great subject, and I really want to study it. Okay. The next book I want to talk about is Suicide Notes by Michael Thomas Ford. So, wow. It was dark humor, totally dark humor. It was about a guy named Jeff. Yeah. He was 15 years old. He one day wakes up and finds himself into a psychiatric ward in a hospital. Psychiatric ward? That's where abnormal people go, he thinks, and he finds himself between the crackheads, and he thinks it's totally inappropriate for him to be there because he doesn't belong there. He hasn't done anything that sort that he is supposed to be in a psychiatric ward for. And yeah, that's where the whole story builds up. So he thinks he's not.
A few minutes later.
And yeah, it's a funny, humorous story. It's been a long time since I read it. I think I'll read it again. I do not remember anything about it. So yeah. So the next book I want to talk to you about is this: The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk, MD. Beautiful book. Really, I've not yet read it like fully, but yeah. Uh, However much I have read it, it's phenomenal. It tells a lot about trauma, stress, the way our body perceives stress, keeps stress inside ourselves, which leads to inflammation, which leads to dreams that are unwanted nightmares, and just things like that. And I really love this book. I love reading about trauma. I love reading about different things, PTSD, and complex PTSD. And this book literally is a masterpiece. Like, this also talks about the Vietnam War and the soldiers that were in Vietnam War and how the war impacted them. Really, what a book! What a book! Like, if you are going to read any book from this and you're not into psychology and anything, just go read this book because this is very important book. It's like it's not even about some people who are going through PTSD. It's even about the normal day-to-day lives and our developmental years through which we have gone, and we have carried trauma inside us. So sometimes um, it's about those ourselves. It's about the stress we keep inside ourselves and do not vent out and do not let go of. Sometimes we don't forgive people and let go of things, and this book is really about that. So yeah, I feel like this is one of the most brilliant reads ever, and I'm gonna finish it soon. I really feel like I should. And wow, this book is amazing. This book, yeah. So the next book I want to talk to you about is Attached by Dr. Amir Levine and Rachel S.F. Healer, MA. And this much is left, and I've read this much. And it really talks about your attachment styles, how people who grow up in different environments with different caregivers, and mainly primary caregivers like our parents and our grandparents or anyone else, our guardians, and how their attachment styles impact us and impact our lives and our relationships, how we grow into avoidant, anxious, or secure, or anxious avoidant, both, and how we proceed in our relationships with that attachment style. And really, this book is phenomenal. Like, it's amazing. It's a short read. It's not very it's not very complex to read. Like, this book can be a little complex, but this one, no, it's not complex. It reads like kind of a self help. I'm not into self helps, but yeah, it's nice. It also gives you some exercises to do, to let you know about which, like this. Yeah, yeah, it's an amazing read. Okay, so these are all the books I want to talk about with you. Oh my god, this is such a tongue twister. Oh my god, I have lost all my ability to speak. Okay, so these are all the books. I am sure there are so many I have not mentioned. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. But I wanna talk about one more book, which is like. It's not like psychology related, but it talks a lot about depression. It talks a lot about human psychology and grief and so many things. So this is the book that I'm going to talk about. Is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Mosfeg. Mosfeg. Otessa Mosfeg. Yeah. So it's about carrying on with your life, giving yourself time off from everything, from your job, from your friendships, and just give that 1 year, give that time to yourself without any devices, without any phone, just pure relaxation that we crave. Like, we need it in this stressful environment, in this stressful situations we are in, like all the time, like hearing about rapes, hearing about war, hearing about different kinds of conflict between nations, even so many crimes. Like, it has really pulled us into a deep hole where we are like always in a constant state of anxiety, constant state of anxiousness that is built into us. And this book really tells you to just let it go, let it all go for that 1 year. Give yourself that 1 year. Just sleep in that 1 year, eat and sleep and give yourself rest. Do not engage in any kind of social media, in any kind of media at all, and just do what our ancestors. Yeah, I also want to read a lot of many books by this author, Odessa, and I feel like I can give it a go because I really love the writing. It was not very complex, or it was not very something that I didn't want to get into. I really like the writing style, and yeah, there are so many lines I resonated with in this book, and I feel like it's nice. It's really nice. Special mention. So that's it. That was the last book I wanted to recommend to you. And yeah, I'll read more of psychology related books and tell you about them. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you. Bye.